The Brachiosaurus was about 85 feet long and weighed between 30 and 80 tons. But there's a problem. The nostrils were the same size of a modern-day horse's nostrils. Did they suffocate? Or was there a different atmosphere on Earth 6,000 years ago? Learn how the environment of the original creation vastly differed from ours today, and how this allowed men to live over 900 years. It produced huge plants and animals, and provided perfect conditions for the growth of the dinosaurs.
Thank you for joining us. My name is Kent Hovind. I taught high school science for 15 years, and now for 16 years I've been doing seminars on creation, evolution, and dinosaurs. And in this session, we're going to talk about what the Garden of Eden was like. Why did they live to be 900 years old before the flood came? What was different about that original creation that we're not seeing today? And tell you how you can take God's promise that He's going to restore the earth like it used to be.
All right, who's on the phone there, Jonathan? I believe it's Jared. He said he bites. He took the bait. Jerry or Jared? Jared. Yes, go ahead.
Hi, I'm taking your bait.
Okay. What
So,
bait? What bait was that?
Oh, you tried like 3 or 4 times to get me on the show, and I'm finally going to indulge you.
Indulge me.
Yeah.
I'm honored.
Awesome. Okay, so what do you want to talk about? The fossilized T-Rex bones, the soft tissue?
Well, you're going to have to wait just a couple of minutes. We got the break right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to find out how they lasted 70 million years without hardening. Right? We'll be back. All right, folks, welcome back to the Creation Science Hour and a half. This is the final segment. Ken Hovind and Jonathan Sampson here live in Pensacola, Florida, this June 20th of 05. And we have Jared on the phone, wants to tell us, explain to us how dinosaur tissue can remain soft and flexible for 70 million years.
Yeah, and okay, I'm gonna preface this by saying, of course, that I'm not an expert on this, but I read a little bit about it just now while I was listening to you on the air. It's not literally true that soft tissue was preserved. What happened was they cracked open this bone and they saw something that they wanted to investigate, and so they dissolved the bone in an acid bath for 7 days. And then what they had left, they pulled out, and they looked at it, and they're like, oh, this is transparent, flexible. So it's not clear to me yet that the tissue itself was actually flexible prior to being soaked in acid for 7 days.
That's exactly a point that I was just checking out in Carl Whelan's article here, squirming at the squishosaur. Apparently, reasons to believe, which you're probably familiar with, Jared, brought the same argument that the soft tissue wasn't necessarily there until they did the acidic bath.
Right.
And yet Carl Whelan goes through and points out that you can do the same thing with vinegar and a chicken bone. It doesn't create soft tissue. And exactly what they found was not created by an acidic bath. So that will actually, let me find the point for you here just to give you something to read.
I would ask the question, are they trying to imply then that if you take petrified wood and give it an acidic bath, it will turn soft again?
Oh, I have no idea. I would suspect that the structure of plant material is sufficiently different that the same technique wouldn't work, but I don't know that.
So would a petrified human bone then be soft if you put it in an acid bath?
Don't know.
Okay.
But it's not like we just picked up a bone and like there was a piece of meat inside of it. It's just not that simple.
Well, they picked up some bones and found red blood cells in them, so.
No,
okay.
That's not true.
Well,
they did not find red blood cells per se. They found the remnants of them.
No, we can get into that, I guess.
Okay. Are you familiar with Omni magazine?
I'm not sure.
OMNI.
Yeah, I'm just not sure.
Okay. Omni magazine ran an article January 1990 on page 32. Article by Don Lessam, who said, along the banks of the Colville River west of Prudhoe Bay, Alaska, frozen dinosaur bones were found that are as light as balsa wood and look as fresh as yesterday's dog bones. The structure was porous and the fossils were not mineralized. So are these dinosaur bones going to stay non-fossilized for 70 million years?
Those particular bones?
Or would any bone do that?
I really don't know. That's a very good question.
I think so. Here's one from...
Hold on. Can you give me the reference? It was Omni magazine?
Omni, O-M-N-I, January 90.
January 90.
Page 32.
Okay, thank you.
Joe Taylor, his website is mountblanco.com, MTBLANCO.com. has dug out scores, possibly even hundreds of dinosaur bones. I'm going to say easily hundreds of dinosaur bones. Joe Taylor lives in Lubbock, Texas, actually Crosbyton, Texas, has a museum there. He has personally excavated many dinosaur bones that are not fossilized. Would you entertain the idea that possibly the dinosaur bones did not live millions of years ago? I mean, is that even an option for you, Jared?
Oh, absolutely, sure.
Okay, good. All right, so tell me about the...
I wanted to... that whenever I first heard about this disturbed me very deeply.
Just real quick, let me give you this reference, Jared, so you can check out the rebuttal to your initial statement when you came on the air. Answersingenesis.org /
Yeah, I figured it was them.
Yeah. Well, they're pretty up on this stuff, so.
Yeah.
/doc, DOCS 2005 /0516 Squishosaur, SQUISHOSAUR.ASP. And they're responding to progressive creationists who believe practically almost everything you believe. Old Earth, 18 billion years old for the universe, and this dinosaur bone lasted millions of years. And so it's a response to, I'm assuming, your complete paradigm on this whole perspective.
Yep.
See, once a bone or a soft tissue becomes mineralized, we have an octopus arm that is fossilized, which, of course, is highly unlikely for a soft tissue to fossilize at all. But when soft tissue fossilizes, it is replaced by the minerals in the groundwater.
Right.
So the dinosaur tissue that became flexible, once it mineralizes, that is not possible. I don't see any possible way that can happen.
Yeah, I don't either, and I think that's pretty much clear. I don't think that it was mineralized if it was preserved for millions of years. It couldn't have been mineralized and then changed back.
They said it was part of it was. They said it was partly mineralized and partly unmineralized. So.
Yeah.
Well, the fact is, I would say dozens of examples of this type of thing have been found over the last 20 years.
Yeah, I've seen 3 so far. But
okay. So I think it's time for any honest scientist to rethink the entire big picture, just like you have to do in the days of Galileo and all through the history of science. You got to rethink, and maybe everything we believe is wrong.
No, I agree with you. I think that this is probably... This has the potential to be the most serious challenge to evolutionary theory that exists. But I would point out, this is science. This is not an argument or some kind of, attack that came from the religious creationists. This came from scientists.
Well, first, not all creationists are religious, and not all religious people are creationists.
What does that mean? What does it mean to have a non-religious creationist?